You may have noticed that some classes have different variants. A good example of this is the Stream class. Along with Stream, you'll find FileStream, MemoryStream, CryptoStream, and others. These classes are all extensions of the basic Stream class. In this lesson, you'll learn how to extend classes, and even extend classes from the .NET framework to make your own extended versions. To begin, open the StableBase project from your Sample Files folder. Now view horses.aspx in your web browser. This is the project's main page for viewing information about horses. It uses a grid view control with button fields. These are covered in Session 12 of the Essential Skills course in this series. Close your web browser now and return to Visual Studio. Now open the code behind file of horses.aspx. And examine the line near the top of the page that reads public partial class horses : system.web.ui.page. This code tells C# that the horses class extends the system.web.ui.page class. All ASP.NET code behind files extend the system.web.ui.page class in this way. This code is automatically included in all code behind files. When one class extends another, it acquires all of the methods and properties of the class it extends. This is also known as inheriting from a class. Creating a class that extends more than one other class is sometimes known as multiple inheritance. You'll also notice the partial keyword in the code behind file of every ASPX page. The partial keyword indicates that the class has additional code in another file. You see this in code behind files because they also include code that is defined in the linked ASPX page. For example, any controls on the page are considered to be part of the same class. You can also use the partial keyword to spread your own classes across multiple files. This isn't usually a good idea, as it makes it harder to keep track of where the code is stored. While I've only rarely done this in my own real-world projects, I once had to create a class containing an enormous amount of code. I used the partial keyword to split the class across several files, to make the code easier to work with. If you ever do this yourself, I'd recommend placing all of the files in a single folder. Now look in the gridViewHorse rowCommand method and notice the following code near the top of the method. Int rowClicked equals convert.toInt32 e.command argument. Int horseID equals convert.toInt32 gridViewHorse.dataKeys rowClicked.value. This code is needed to retrieve the horse ID value from the row clicked by the user. It's rather complex and inconvenient, and it would be much nicer if this code was built into the grid view control. Let's now create an extended grid view control to do just that. First, add a new class to the project. Named extendedgridview.cs. Now add the following using line to the top of the new class. Using system.web.ui.webControls, and change the line that begins the class from public class extended grid view to public class extended grid view colon grid view. This tells C# that your new class will extend the grid view class. If you did nothing else to this class, it would be identical to a grid view. Now let's add a method to the extended grid view class to retrieve the ID from the row the user clicked. Add the following method to the class. Public int get ID from row object command argument try int row index equals convert.toInt32 command argument object row data key equals base.dataKeys row index dot value return convert.toInt32 row data key catch return 0. The base keyword allows you to access all of the methods and properties of the class that this class extends. This code uses it to access the DataKeys property of the base class. That's the GridView class. This method will make it much easier to retrieve the ID from the GridView control. You'll see how to add your extended GridView control to a page and use its new functionality in the next lesson. That's lesson 4.11. Note that extended classes can be converted so that they impersonate the type of object they extend, using the cast conversion method. For example, you could convert an extended GridView object into a normal GridView object using the code GridView my GridView equals GridView my extended GridView. Allowing objects to impersonate other types is known as polymorphism. You'll learn more about polymorphism in lesson 4.12. Close Visual Studio now, saving your changes if prompted. You've now completed lesson 4.10. Extend a class.